I bet there's a really good chance if you are watching this today that you are doing everything right when it comes to your health and fitness and wellness. There are a few things that could be completely sabotaging your efforts when it comes to your health. Today, I am going to be giving you a list of 5 things that could be really affecting your health negatively. And guess what? They have nothing to do with your protein intake, whether or not you're taking creatine, if you're properly hydrated, if you're getting enough sleep, whether or not you drink alcohol, none of those things. These are 5 things that are going to be pretty unexpected, at least 1 or 2 of them. And they were for me too. That's why I thought it would be really fun to do this video. So stay tuned. Welcome to Boom 50 Fitness. My name's Regan, and this is your channel for all things health and fitness in your 50s and beyond. Okay, let's just dive right in. These are the 5 things that could be sabotaging your health, fitness, and wellness. Number 1 is sitting a lot. All right, this one's probably not a surprise to you. In fact, maybe you've even heard the phrase, sitting is the new smoking. But did you know that sitting a lot can lead to various physical and mental health issues, even if you're active? So let's talk about the negative effects that sitting a lot can have on your health. Number 1 is a metabolic slowdown, and none of us want that. After just 30 minutes of uninterrupted sitting, your metabolism can slow down significantly. And this affects how efficiently your body converts food into energy. Prolonged sitting can also increase the risk of chronic diseases, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, some cancers, and even early death. It can also lead to musculoskeletal problems, such as muscle weakness, stiffness, and pain in the back, neck, shoulders, and legs. A sedentary lifestyle can also increase the risk of mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. And lastly, before I go over what you can do about it, prolonged sitting can increase the risk of deep vein thrombosis, varicose veins, and digestive problems. But no way am I going to give you all those negative effects without giving you some things you can do about it. The easiest thing is to just get up and move frequently. One of the things I do is I set a timer when I'm going to be at my desk, either editing videos or putting together programs for people, or if I just know I will be sitting for an extended period of time, I set the timer on my phone for 30 minutes. And when that timer goes off, I move around for a minimum of 2 minutes. The other thing you can look into is getting a stand-up desk. These have worked wonders for some of my clients. This way you can alternate between sitting and standing. And if you feel like there's no way you can pull yourself away from your computer for a couple minutes every 30 minutes, instead you can just move slowly on your standing desk. It's got a little treadmill underneath. Go really slow, and then you don't have to take that 2-minute break where you move around. And I must say, you don't necessarily have to have a walking pad under your desk, but you can have one of those desks where you sit for a little bit and then you raise it up so that you can stand. But if you did get one of those walking pads, that would be a bonus. I'll link the one down below in the description that I have in my apartment. And I actually used it today because it's been raining all day long. Fiona doesn't like walking in the rain. We did go out this morning for about a 10-minute walk, but then we came back inside and I popped on that walking pad and I put on my weighted vest and went for a 30-minute walk. It was awesome. What a great way to just kick off the morning. Okay, so whether you're sitting or standing, make sure you're really mindful of your posture, because this will help minimize the strain on your back and your neck. And of course, I'm going to mention engaging in physical activity. So either before you know you're going to be sitting most of the day, or after you've been sitting most of the day, with your breaks in between, of course, get some physical activity. And if you have to sit and you are unable to get up, focus on some deep breathing. Taking deep breaths that move your diaphragm and ribs is really beneficial for your posture and overall good health. Okay, number 2 is being weak. Yes, no surprise, being weak is very bad for your health. Testing grip strength is a really easy way to predict all-cause mortality. And midlife friends out there, you're going to start seeing this more frequently when you go to see your doctor. Your grip strength is a better predictor of all-cause mortality than any other predictors. It's basically a metric for whether you're going to be independent or dependent. Believe it or not, if you have a strong grip, your risk of basically everything goes down. Yes, your risk of everything goes down. Heart disease, cancer, definitely cognitive decline. So besides testing grip strength, another great predictor is, can you get up and down off the ground without using your hands? It's one of those things you don't want to lose. So in order to not lose it, we have to keep doing it. So for the rest of your life, you want to be working on your mobility and your stability. So you guys, when I read all the different studies on grip strength and how it can be such a huge indicator of all-cause mortality, I went out and bought some products on Amazon, and I'll link them all down below. And it started with me having trouble opening a pickle jar. So this is one of the grippers, and I'll use this while I'm just watching TV. I'll just hold it, and you'll feel it. Work that muscle in your forearm. But then in this little bag, there's also one. I used to be a rock climber, and we would use these all the time because then you can work on, let's see, oh, it goes like this. Am I holding it right? Yeah, then you can work on, oh no, here we go. Then you can work on specific fingers. Oh yeah. And this will all help with your grip strength too. The pinky's really hard, but you can do all of them. It also, so I'll use those while I'm watching TV, but it also comes with like a little ring ball. It's almost like a stress ball. And then it does come with a full-on ball. But these are the two that I use the most often. And if you are getting your grip strength tested in the doctor's office, they're going to use something that looks like this, that will actually have the numbers on it. So this is something that's great to do. I mean, you feel it. It's not easy, but we've got to keep that grip strength. And of course, talking about weakness, I have to throw in the importance of strength training. And I'll just mention it today. If you're not strength training, lifting weights, lifting heavy weights, you've got to start. It is never too late to start getting stronger. Okay, I learned about this one a while ago, and it shocked me the first time I heard it, and it doesn't shock me anymore. But number 3 is watching the news. You guys, I no longer watch the news. And remember, like back in the day, like when we were kids, the news came on like once a day for a half hour. And I remember my parents would watch the news and I'd hear a little bit of it, but that was it. Now, 24 hours a day, you can get the news. And if you're not getting it from your TV, you're getting it on your phones. And one of my friends said, well, if you're not watching the news, how do you get the news? What if something really bad happens? Listen, if something really bad happens, if there is a vampire apocalypse, I'm gonna know about it. You're gonna hear about the bad news. When I check my email, the news will pop up. So I'll get a little bit, but there is no need for me to watch the news or doom scroll the news, and you don't need to be doing that either, because excessive exposure to news can negatively affect your mental and physical health, and it can potentially lead to stress, anxiety, and depression. And it makes total sense. Constant exposure to negative news can trigger your fight or flight response. And repeated exposure to stressful events, especially those beyond our control, can contribute to feelings of hopelessness and depression. Okay, and doom scrolling. This is the worst. You may not know this about me, but I spend a very, very limited amount of time on social media. My rule is I have to create to consume. So if I create an informative post, which can take, a half hour to 45 minutes, I can allow myself to scroll a little bit, but I actually don't even scroll. I'll see what's at the top of my feed and I'll usually like that or read that. But I am very, very cautious about who and what I follow on social media. And that's the problem with doom scrolling. You can find whatever opinion you want to find if you doom scroll long enough. And that constant need to check in, check for updates, and the endless nature of online news consumption can lead to a feeling of being overwhelmed and anxious. And there are definitely physical health impacts when it comes to consuming too much news. The body's physiological stress response triggered by negative news can lead to physical symptoms like fatigue, irritability, and even long-term health issues. And listen to this. Emerging evidence suggests that the emotional fallout of news coverage can increase the chances of having a heart attack or developing problems years later. The other thing the body's stress response system can do is lead to digestive issues. I knew it was a good idea for me to stop watching the news, but I've got some tips for you if you are a news watcher and you want to stop. Set boundaries like I did and just really try to limit your news consumption to one certain time of the day. The other thing you have to do is to choose your sources wisely. You want to rely on reputable and balanced news sources. And if you are a negative news watcher, counterbalance that with some positive news. Like if you're getting your news on social media, watch maybe one thing that has to do with negative news, and then maybe watch a couple dog videos or cat videos or something that just makes you laugh and smile. Oh, speaking of dog videos, hello. She wants to sneak in. Okay, this is a really good one. Be mindful of your reactions. You may think that watching negative news does not affect you in a negative way, but you need to be aware of how it does affect you. How does it affect your mood and your thoughts? And take steps to counteract the negative emotions. Okay, moving on to number 4. This is something you may not think about too much, but not going outside can really negatively affect your health. If you are around my age, then you probably remember your parents kicking you out the door and you not coming home till dinner time. I mean, we played outside all day long in the summertime. And even when school was in session, as soon as we would get home, we would run around and meet up with our friends, and then homework was saved for after dinner. And as we got older and we were playing team sports, that's another time when we were outside and being active. Well, that is definitely no longer the case. Not just with kids, but also with adults. We're not spending enough time outdoors. Now, before I was living here in New York City, I was living in Park City, Utah. And I must say that is a community that spends a lot of time outdoors. And I think any small mountain town has that kind of outdoorsy lifestyle. And I love going for walks, and yes, I do spend a lot of time outdoors, but I know a lot of people living in cities or just living anywhere that are not spending time outdoors. So this is just another thing that can physically and mentally affect your health. I'm not going to go into too much detail when it comes to your mental health surrounding not spending time outdoors, because it's very similar to everything else I've mentioned. It can lead to anxiety, depression, stress, but it can also lead to social isolation, difficulty focusing, and difficulty sleeping. But physically, what can happen if you don't spend time outdoors? Well, one of the things is you can become deficient in vitamin D. Sunlight is absolutely crucial for your body to produce vitamin D, which is essential for bone health, immune function, and overall well-being. It can also lead to reduced physical activity, and that of course can lead to weight gain, muscle weakening, and increased risk of chronic diseases. And the last really important thing that I am going to mention, I briefly mentioned when I talked about your mental health and getting outside, is sleep disturbances. Because poor quality sleep will affect your mental and your physical health. I've talked about the importance of getting sunlight or just light into your eyes first thing in the morning. And the reason for that is to help balance your circadian rhythm. Lack of natural light exposure can disrupt your sleep-wake cycle, and this can lead to both insomnia and fatigue. So get outside, people. Okay, and moving on, last but not least, number 5. This one was a big surprise for me, and this is something I don't have to worry about because I am a slow eater. I mean, I knew it wasn't really good for you, but I just didn't really think about it when it came to my health and fitness. But eating fast is bad for your health, people. It can lead to digestive issues, overeating, increased risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and other metabolic problems. Because you swallow more air when you eat fast, it can cause digestive issues such as indigestion, bloating, and gas. And this doesn't allow your body enough time to properly digest your food. It can also lead to overeating, and this just confuses your brain. Why? Because it doesn't give your brain enough time to register that your stomach is full. And of course, this is going to lead to overconsumption of calories and weight gain. Studies have shown that fast eaters are more likely to be obese and have a higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Food is also one of the small pleasures in life, and if you eat too fast, it can reduce that enjoyment. Okay, when I was researching this topic and looking into ways you can eat slower, one of the things mentioned, which I just don't think I would do, is to count how many chews before you swallow. And I read that 52 chews is a good amount, and that on average, most people chew about 32 times. This is crazy. And to me, I thought, well, isn't it going to make a huge difference whether you're eating watermelon or eating a steak? So I kind of poo-pooed that idea. But if you think you're a fast eater, maybe count your chews and add maybe 10 more chews each time, which just sounds kind of ridiculous to sit there and count. But if this is really an issue for you, counting your chews might really help. But the best piece of advice that I can give you, that I have given other friends and family members that are fast eaters, is to put your fork down between each bite, and also to eat mindfully. So that would mean avoiding distractions during meal times. I'm talking to you out there, you doom scroller as you're eating. No, 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 no. No more doom scrolling and no more distracted eating. And stop sitting, get stronger, and get your butt outside. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun making it for you. And if you have any questions or comments or anything you would add to this list, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And if you did like this video, don't forget to do all the things. Thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell, and that way you'll be the first to know when my next video drops. My name's Regan. This is Boom 50 Fitness, your new BFF. I will see you next time I see you, which is next Wednesday. Bye. If not before. Oh, there's my girl. There's my sweet girl. She's been spending some time at the vet, but she's gonna be just A-okay. Bye, guys.